Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Come on and shout it. I talk, you talk, we talk. Women talk life. It ain't no surprise. Baby, you could see if you would open up your eyes. You won't understand if you can't open up your mind. So let's stop wasting time when women talk live.
And welcome to Women's Talk Overnight Show. This your girl, April J.
I'm your girl, SassyScribe.
And this is K Elle Boogie.
All right, y'all. So we got another interesting show for you today. Another interesting show. As you can see, today's topic is the perfect friend. Now, that's a play on words, so don't, think, oh my gosh, no, okay? But let's get into our Women's Talk. Little fun fact as far as friendships. Got one for you.
Okay.
Here's one. Here's number one. A friendship that lasts longer than 7 years, psychologists said it will last a lifetime.
I believe that.
I believe that too. I
believe
mean,
that.
I have some friends from college and we still hanging tough. So, and it's been over 20 something years.
I have day ones from like kindergarten, high school.
Yeah. So yeah, I believe that. I believe once after that 7-year mark, yeah. So I get that. So, Sassy, what you got for us?
Okay, so what I got for y'all is that research shows that having close female relationships, it improves your confidence, happiness, and good health. And I really feel bad when I hear women say that, I saw this post the other day where the girl was like, I'm not for everyone and I don't have a lot of friends. And it tends to make me think about the mentality of that person. Do they have empathy? Do they have sympathy? Do they have space in their life to allow for that? So social interactions between women increases serotonin and oxytocin. And that's not something that we think about because we think about it in the realm of male to female relationships.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you feel good when you have like just a good girl day or a good girls night and you kikiing and we could go through 5, 6, 7 bottles of wine.
Like, girl,
But I get that from us. Like, I like our girl time. That's my, my sit and chat with the ladies.
Yeah, it's always a good thing. I mean, I just got off a girls trip and we had the absolute best time. Okay, I was showing my whole ass. I ain't gonna lie.
But you know what though, when you think about it, because it says that the oxytocin and the serotonin is like a bonding hormone, right? So it not only boosts our mood, it encourages positive behavior because we can affect each other and how we act, how we interact with other people. Like I saw this one where this guy was saying that T.K. Kirkland was talking about women who curse and said as soon as a woman walk in a room and she curses, she will be judged by men. And I was like, as soon as women walk in the room, they're judged on their looks, their height, their weight, what they have on, how they carry themselves. But he was saying women who curse tend to be judged a little differently. So I was like, he wouldn't like any of my friends because we can string them together.
You wouldn't like me because my mouth can go, okay?
That's what I said. My mouth is extremely, extremely reckless. But when I was researching this topic for us to discuss today, there were 3 types of female friendships, which I found interesting. Or the 3 S's, of female friendship. And the first one is support. That's showing up, being present, and making an effort. Because we all have that one friend that can never make anything.
Right.
Never make it. And if they do make it, they're always late. And it's halfway over, whatever the event is. The second one is symmetry. It's you have your shared values, ideals, and morals, and the same mindset. I've released a lot of females that didn't have that in my life. They were energy vampires. And then the third one is secrecy, because we got a lot of things we take to the grave for each other.
Mm,
Like, so a lot of
Yeah.
things
okay.
that
Yeah.
is nothing that's like gonna like that's detrimental,
Right.
but knowing when to have them, knowing who to share them with
Right. Oh
is
yeah.
very important. And
Yeah.
if you know that, like, the three of us, this is a safe space.
Right.
You
Right.
can't tell everybody everything.
That's true. You have to be trust is a big thing for me.
Hmm.
If I feel like I can't trust you, I mean, we cool,
But
but
we ain't
that's
that
about
cool.
as yeah, we and for me, like I know me personally, I'm a very private person.
Right.
So if I share something with you, that means that I develop some type of trust. It takes me a long time. But for me, like I'm very big on that. Like I don't, when somebody tells me something, I don't I don't repeat
Run
it.
tell that
Yeah, and they don't have to tell me, "Oh, don't say anything." I just don't repeat it because, for one, it's not my story to
story
tell.
to tell. There it
And
is.
so, and two, like I feel like if you share something with me, then that's pretty much your business. I ain't gonna ever ask you or anything because your business is your business.
Hmm.
And I think another thing, I think with friendships, sometimes you just need somebody to listen. That's it, just the vent. And then there are times when, okay, you just genuinely want some advice.
Right.
So I'm not going to take advice from somebody who is reckless.
Right.
So, I mean, you have some people out here who are reckless. So I'm careful about stuff like that. But
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I
I
have
like that
had.
about the symmetry because having the like mindedness, like when I had the kids, like none of my friends, if you were a bad mom or negligent in terms of like your parenting, like I could not be friends with you because I couldn't respect you. And a lot of times, just having that synergy of having somebody who understands what it's like to be a mom or a wife or to to be working and being a woman. It's hard to be a woman, like especially a
Mhm.
woman of color, and the things that we go through. A lot of times the only people who can understand are other women, because you guys go through the same thing. When you walk into a room, you walk in as a black woman. And so a lot of the things that we deal with are things that we understand. That's why even when we're older in life, we fare well than men do, because we build that sense of community, because we build that sense of sisterhood where we're taught to nurture each other. And we tend to do that easily more so than I guess our male counterparts.
Now, when you say that, having that like mind related to mother, I don't have any children. So, do you find that other women are open to criticism? Like your friends? Because some of I know a lot of women are very touchy and sensitive when
Yeah.
it comes to you giving them some form of advice related to to their children, parent or not. I have a lot of friends that are teachers,
Hmm.
and those parents don't want to hear anything negative
Right.
about their little boy or girl. They are just angels in their eyes. So
Right.
how do you navigate that within your friendship space?
If they my friends, then their kids are like my nieces and nephews. Like we've grown to the point where I would feel like I could address something that I see your kid do, and it's
Okay.
not something that's I'm picking on your kid. But I wouldn't necessarily go to somebody who was an acquaintance or somebody that I'm just cool with, so to speak, and be like, yo, your child off the hook or such and such. I think as a village that we should let people know what's going on with their children if we see it,
Right.
and let the chips fall what they may. But I hope that it has to be received in the manner in which it's given. And sometimes you gotta just be quiet because it's not going to be received in that manner. Like you gotta know
Right.
when to hold them and know when to fold them. But
Yeah.
yeah, my friends are my family. When I say friends, like their kids, I know. Like if I see you in the street, I'm gonna say something, or I'm gonna tell your mother, and they would do the same for me. We had to understand it, but not just to arbitrarily go, "Oh, girl, your kid bad," or "Sassy, I saw your niece out there. She ain't shit." Like nobody, you know what I mean? You shouldn't be
Right.
Mhm.
doing that
Yeah.
because everybody don't have your best intentions at heart.
Right.
They don't.
And you know those friends that you can say things to and you can't say things to. And even like being a mother myself, like I said, I have girlfriends that I grew up with, pretty much went to college with. And we've all
Mhm.
seen our kids from toddlers to babies to now adults.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we tend to always share our experiences and we'll give that advice. And that's one thing. And I'll say, hey, listen, I ain't trying to tell you how to raise your child. But this is
But
where I speak from my experience. But in my, in my experience with one of my daughters, this is what it was. And, and in the same sense, like we know that each other are not trying to pick on each other's child. We're just giving advice based on our experiences as mothers. Because as a mother, I don't know everything. I didn't know everything. And
Still
raising
don't.
two girls, like, oh my God. Even now, I'm like, this little chick, Ray, I'm about to hem her up. So, but even as adults, as my daughters are adults, I think now I'm navigating um that I'm their mom, but I have to. But even though I'm their mom, they're adults now, and sometimes I have to um remember that because I've already laid the foundation for them,
mhm.
but I have to realize that they have to make their own choices and their own mistakes. And even though I can see, oh my gosh,
You want to
this,
fix it before it
yeah, I want to
happens.
fix it, or I'm like telling you, you about to run straight head on into a wall,
Right.
and I want to help you, but then I have to realize, no, sometimes you gotta let them run face first in that wall because then they're not going to learn. And my thing is that even though they're adults, I have to remember that, okay, yeah, I'm their mom, but sometimes I have to step back. And
Yeah.
I've said this to other parents. I said, it's hard when you have children, especially adult children, because you're navigating a different stage in their life. You
Yep.
try to figure out, and a lot of parents sometimes that I see, they still handhold their child's hand and like and I be like I was like,
My
listen,
sister does that.
I like,
My
you
one
gotta
sister
you
does that.
gotta you gotta let them go. You gotta let them be adults and just trust that whatever you taught them, they're gonna come back to it. Because I tell them all the time, listen, I was a PK kid and I did a lot
For
of shit.
those that
I ain't
understand
gonna
PK,
lie,
preach
I
it,
did a lot of shit. And I
sis.
tell my kids all the time, ain't shit y'all done that I haven't already done and tried and whatever. I was just like,
I'm
but
just grateful there was no cell phones and no videotapes
uh,
Oh my
evidence.
God. What?
girl,
That's all.
The
when I
friends
heard
that
videotape a
friends
freak Nick, I was like, oh shit.
like
Oh no.
I was not allowed to go to my mother. I wasn't a preacher's kid, but my mother had us under strict lockdown. So everything I did was done undercover.
Well, my mom worked 3 jobs, so half the time she wasn't home.
Oh, okay. My mother was
So,
home all the time.
oh no,
All the time.
yeah,
All the
no,
time.
So
She
I
was
get
home all the time. But
yeah.
when we speak of that, let's speak of that mother, that friendship when it's the mother space, but girl, what when it's your girlfriend and you done seen her man out someday? As kids say, when you done synced him out, you done synced him out in them streets. You can't. I say, I'm like, I'm gonna run and I'm gonna tell her. I've seen too many women get shot as the messenger. And they in their heart, their gut knows that he's out there doing something. But that confirmation from a day one,
Hmm.
now she knows your business, right? She's feeling a certain way about him. You're not going to leave, right? So now you got to navigate your friendship and your marriage or your relationship and try to get the two of them to continue to mesh. Because I remember
Yeah.
when my ex was cheating and my best friend found out and she told me, but I already found out. I just didn't tell them. You know what I mean? And we had talked about it. I got over it and we were moving forward. She found out and their relationship, and they used to be like that. And when she found out, she cut him off at the knees. She wouldn't interact, she wouldn't speak. So it made our little couples group very, very contentious. And it got to the point where we just didn't hang out with them anymore, which was sad because we really enjoyed traveling and doing a lot of things together. But those type of friendships, you and I didn't get mad at her for telling me, right?
You still
I
able to
got
be around
mad,
her. Like,
but
did y'all still
she.
maintain y'all friendship? Like, I understand you
Oh,
said the
absolutely.
couples
We
friendship.
still. I mean, that's my day one. Absolutely. But the
Okay.
thing of it was when she only found out that he was cheating because I didn't tell anybody that I
Mm-hmm.
caught him.
Mm-hmm.
My sister, her, and this is going to sound very convoluted. Her son's godmother was at her house for her grandson's birthday party, and they were mentioning my man's name. So after everyone left, my nephew's godmother stayed around. She was like, "So what do you know about him? How long have your sister and him been together?" And my sister, running her mouth like water, told her, she said, "Well, that's interesting because he's been fooling with my daughter's best friend the same amount of time."
Wow.
So the entire time we were together, 7 years, he maintained this other relationship. He had been with her for 20 years.
Wow.
So was I the side chick?
Mm. I don't
You know,
know. I don't know.
was I the side chick? But I didn't get. I got mad at my sister because she called my other sister, and my other sister said, "Don't say nothing."
Yeah.
She said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Made a side chick. I think you have to sign up to be a side chick.
Oh,
I don't think you're manipulated into thinking, to thinking you're in a solitary relationship and you're not. I think it has to do with your mindset. If you know you messing with somebody, then yeah, you're a side chick. But if you think this your one and only and you his one and only, then
yeah. I mean, it was a
the
shock to
onus is on the
me.
person who knows the full spectrum.
Yeah. It,
Exactly.
it's so interesting because uh not well recently, somewhat recently, a friend came and asked me, "Hey, listen, I need some advice because they were dating someone, and so I need some advice. What do you I guess there was some events that happened that didn't
Right.
sit right with them, and they were saying, hey, what are your thoughts? Now I met this person's significant other,
Person.
and didn't get like a lot of great type of vibes, and that's just me. Like sometimes people, I meet people and sometimes they just seem a little off, or just something about them that just don't sit right with me.
Hmm.
So when they asked me and told me a couple of things that happened, I said, listen, I'm the type of person, I'm gonna be very blunt and just tell you. I said, and listen, it's not going to, whether you take my advice or not, it's not going to matter. It's not going to change how I treat that person or even interact with you. I said, this is just my opinion. My opinion is like an ass crack. Everyone has one. So, but I told her, I said, listen, I don't think he's being completely honest with you. I think that there is some things that he is hiding. And whether you want to believe that or not, that's the vibe I get. Because to me, it just seemed there is some secrecy there. I
Hmm.
don't know what those secrecies are. I have no idea. But I just feel like he's not being completely 100% with you. And I was just like, but that's just me. I said, listen, however you, whatever, God bless both of y'all. So,
I mean,
but
it's hard. It's hard because we know. And you know that's what's that saying? What's that saying? We listen and we don't judge.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there is maybe a little bit of judgment because I have a friend going through something right now, and I'm saying to myself, I took and told your ass what was going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
and it went in one end out the other, and now here you are, everything destroyed financially, emotionally, mentally, and I mean even her body is telling on her. So physically,
Mm-hmm.
and you start over again. We're 58. How
Yeah.
many type of people are you going to continue to allow in your life that
Right.
make you continue to start over? And
Right.
it's not easy. I mean, I'm 9 years in to the job that I'm on, but I was underemployed for 9 years prior. So I'm still catching up with everything.
Yeah.
And it's hard when you're single and doing everything by
That's
yourself.
true. That's true.
As a friend, and she was like, "You're right, you're right, you're right." I'm saying, I'm not judging you, but I just need you to make better
Better
choices. We're
choice. Yeah.
old
I think
to
it's
Right.
more
keep
about
making
accountability.
choices.
I don't think that it's
Yes.
about judgment. I think it's more about having somebody who's trying to hold you accountable, because it's not just you coming in arbitrarily saying these things. You've said these things based on things that she's confided in you,
Hmm.
based on things that you've seen. So it's not like you sit in blind judgment. It's really just about, look, you said you wanted better for yourself. You said you wanted this. I'm telling you, you still making them same decisions, still stuffing with the same type of guy. Like, I just wanted to keep you focused on what you said. Like,
Right.
I think that is the epitome of being a friend. I don't necessarily think it's judgment. I think it's harder for the person who receives it, because there's shame in knowing that you may not, that you settled for less than you were worth. There's shame in not adhering to the rules and regulations or the standards that you had for your friends. And, when it comes to your life, you're just like, well, this is different. The excuses that you make for yourself, your friends really hold that mirror up. And so I think it has to do more with embarrassment and maybe shame on the other person than it does, that comes out as, anger or disappointment or whatever. But
Right.
I don't know.
I
I
mean,
just always,
Yeah.
the people
Well,
that
that
truly are
kind
your
of,
friends
yeah.
are
Go ahead. I'm
really just
sorry.
the ones that you got to trust.
You're right. So that goes my next Twitter. Well, our next
what is
fun
top
fact.
five?
Fun fact. Um, 91% of people who are no longer friends with someone, they used to call them their best friend.
91%. That is
91%. Is
very.
that
Is that
crazy?
male to female or just
It's
in
just
general?
general. Yeah.
That is. Listen, my day one and
I'm real
I
fortunate.
been friends since high school, sixth grade, really, since middle school. And I remember a point in our friendship that we did not speak for 5 years, all over some busted ass man. And I told her, I said, as my friend, and I knew this as a young child, as my friend, no one can come to me and said, XYZ said this about you
Right.
because you're my friend.
Right.
But you believed everything that this guy told you about me and my baby sister. We're all tight. I said, you believed everything he told you about us. And
Right.
for 5 years, and let me tell y'all, it was the hardest breakup. It was harder than breaking up with a man.
Yeah, it is. It
It
is.
was like a piece of me
Mm-hmm.
for 5 years was literally missing. And men, I don't know if they have those same relationships, but
Right.
we understand how
Exactly.
hurtful. I mean,
Right.
I was the one that extended the olive branch,
Right. Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get out because I missed her,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm like, and she was like, I was going to reach out to you if you hadn't reached out to me. I said, but it was 5 years. It was
Right.
5 years that we
Right.
weren't involved in each other's lives. And I don't like that.
Right.
I don't
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. My daughter went through that. She had two really good friends, and one was her
Mhm.
really best friend. When they were in high school, I think it was, and there was a misunderstanding. And my daughter went back, apologized to her. You know, she was just like, if I offended you or hurt you, whatever. She was like, yeah, I apologize. She said, but she wouldn't accept her apology. and they have not spoken for, I want to say it's been almost 5 years. And
Well,
even the other young lady that they were all tight, they she kind of like backed away from my daughter, and it hurt her, because she was
yes.
just like, because my she's like me. It's very hard for her to make friends, because she just, she don't easily trust people.
Hmm.
So for her, it was like, okay, we hung out, we stay at each other's houses and all this stuff. And now, it's a misunderstanding. And I apologized. And she was just like, Ma, I don't know what else to do, because she didn't accept my apology. I said, well, listen, you did all you could do.
Yep.
And there's no more you can do. If she doesn't want to accept your apology, that's on her. You pretty much, did what you were supposed to do, and now it's on her. But I could tell, it she's I think it was something that really kind of messed with her, because she's really like, when it comes to people, like close friendships and all that, she doesn't really like, she's just like, okay. Yeah, she has friends she hangs out with, but I don't think she has anybody that's close. I think she has her sister, but outside of
Yeah.
that, no.
It can be extremely hard. And I think I offended some people when I said this recently with some friends I met online. And I said, I know y'all, but I don't know y'all.
Hmm.
I mean, we're cool online, we talk every day, but I don't know you in the day-to-day realm of life.
Hmm.
We're friends,
But you how the
but
guy said, I see you in the daylight.
right, right,
Right.
right. But we're virtual friends, and I know that time is winding down. So I want to say really quickly, these are 5 key benefits for especially these female friendships. It's emotional support, it's improved mental health, it increases our self-esteem, and I want to expound on that, because it has encouragement and it validates us from a female standpoint, right? And then there is better coping mechanisms, because having that conversation with each other where we can talk about it allows us to cope. And it's longevity of our physical health, because we'll watch out for each other.
Right.
You know, sit my when my day one, was diagnosed with breast cancer, the entire tribe came together, and we
Yeah.
were taking her, different places. Now I'm gonna tell you, her and I had to have a conversation, because when she was giving us the schedule for her radiation and chemotherapy, I didn't immediately volunteer. And I had to explain to her, because I had to wrap my mind around that one day you wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
And taking you to these, I think I took her to the last 2 or 3 that she had. But
Mm.
she said, that really hurt me that you wasn't the first one. I said, but you understand how I deal with sickness,
Right.
the people that I love that are sick. And
Mm.
we had to have a conversation about that, because she said, you hurt my feelings when I needed you the most.
Right. Yeah.
And that
Oh,
girl, I was like, I
Yeah.
felt big. I said, but understand my, and we came to the understanding,
Right.
but
Yeah.
it was very hurtful for her. I didn't mean to hurt her. I was worrying about me when I should have really been focused and
Yeah.
worried about her.
That's
So
true. That's
yeah.
true. Okay. So we did have a last week poll. Last week we talked about menopause.
Yes.
So, as you can see, what are the top 3 complaints of menopause? So the first one was hot flashes.
hey, right here. Thank you.
I don't have those.
Okay. Yeah. I
Not
mean,
suffering.
I get them, but
Yo,
they not
I'll be
severe.
curly Sue if a hot flash hit right now. It'll like
So
somebody just
then,
threw water on.
so listen, so these last couple of days has been wonderful for y'all, because it's cool out and all of that stuff, a nice
Mm-hmm.
No, I
breeze.
still get nice sweats. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
I
okay.
still
still,
sleep with
yeah.
my fans, so.
Right. All right.
I feel
So
the same.
the second one was vaginal dryness, which,
Oh my
Oh,
praise the
God.
Lord, I have not had.
yes,
Thank
thank
you,
God for that.
Jesus.
Sister's good over
What was,
here.
do we have percentages?
I don't have percentages. I just gave the
Okay.
top 3.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And then the last one was um memory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, sometimes like I'll think sometimes I walk into a room and I'm like, oh
What I
shit,
come
what
in
I
here
come in
for?
here for? I'm like,
Yo,
wait a
I
minute.
could pick up my phone and forget why I picked up the phone.
Eh,
And then I start scrappy like, I picked up my phone to do something. Then you gotta put the phone down and think of what you did before you picked up the phone and
right,
try to
right.
reset.
It's like
Oh,
walking out
trust
the
me,
room
I have
like,
had
what
my
did I walk in
glasses
this room?
on my head and be like, what did I do with my glasses on? And here, and granted, like my youngest daughter, she can be a smart ass sometimes. And I'll be like, I know how to put my glasses down. She said, yeah, you put them down on your head, mom. Like, really? And I'm like, one day, little girl, one
Yeah.
day, you gonna go through
Mhm.
this. You gonna go through
Oh
this.
my God. I've been on my phone looking for my phone.
Yes, I've had that. Yes, I've had that too.
And I'm talking to my girlfriend.
Talking
She's
on your
like, what
phone,
are
looking
you?
for your phone.
Right.
But listen, I mean, it's just that serious. And I'm talking to her. She was like, what are you doing? I said, I'm looking for my phone. She said, are you fucking kidding me? You are talking to me right now on your phone. I'm like, oh shit.
Have you ever just
Or I'm
started driving and
driving.
forget where you're going? Like you just get on autopilot after a while? Because I take 83 a lot, and I have different. At like if I'm catering for something, and I'm like, I gotta get off here. Man, I'll be like, am I on my way home? What the hell? I done missed my
Yeah.
exit. Gotta turn
Girl,
around.
All right.
missed my
Yeah.
exit so many times. We were going to the veteran cemetery to visit my dad. My sister looked at me. She was like, which veteran cemetery are you going to? And then I looked, and you're right. I was like on autopilot, talking to them, running my mouth, not really
Yep.
paying attention. And
Mhm.
I looked, girl, we were like 15 minutes outside of where we should have been. I was like,
Wow.
and here's the sad part: it's 10 minutes from where, well, maybe 15 minutes from where I live. And
Wow.
I went in the complete opposite. I should have went south. I went
Wow.
north. Just
Wow. Yeah.
running
Yeah.
my
It
checks.
happens. It happens. All right. So this week
At least
poll.
we still got that good lady. So at least there's
Yeah.
something to be.
So this
I
week's
don't
poll
know.
is
I'm is single.
yeah. This week's poll is what are the top 3 you value most in your friendships?
Ooh,
Top 3. Okay?
okay.
All right.
Top three. What do I
Top 3
value most?
value. I can tell you, first one is trust. That's the big
Amen.
thing for me. Huge
That's
thing for
it.
me. In all my relationships, trust is the big thing. Once you break trust with me, it's a long time before you get that back.
I think
If you
mine are
do.
the three that I mentioned earlier in the show, which is support, secrecy, and the symmetry. I
Hmm.
think those are,
Yeah.
really important. And also, I know how to be a friend. A lot of people don't, male and
Yeah.
female,
Right.
don't know how to be friends.
That's true.
And I think if that could be some people that are raised on survival versus love.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah.
True.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Well, we're gonna wrap up, but make sure you tune into us every Tuesday at 5 a.m. either on YouTube, Facebook, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, wherever you podcast. Okay, or on our website. All right. So, my final thought for today's show is friends are like condoms. They protect you when things get hard.
I love it.
I love
I
that.
love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Love it.
Yes. All right, y'all. This is Women's Talk live overnights with your girl, April J.
I'm Sassy Scribe.
And I'm KL Boogie.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.